Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello Word, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of English vocabulary. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. Our word of the day is century. It's an A1 level noun meaning a period of 100 years. That's right, 100 years all wrapped up in a single word, century. Think about it. So much can happen in a century. We're talking about significant historical events, technological advancements, and cultural shifts. The word century is incredibly common and useful for talking about time, history, and even future projections. So, how can we define century a little more clearly? Well, it is, as we said, a period of 100 years. We often use it to mark significant periods in history. For example, we might talk about the 20th century, referring to the years from 1901 to 2000. Now, let's explore some words that are similar to century, synonyms that can help you understand its meaning from slightly different angles. A close synonym, though not perfect, is 100 years. We can say, the house has stood for a century, or the house has stood for 100 years. The meaning is essentially the same. You could also use the phrase 100. While not a direct synonym for century itself, it captures the numerical essence. For example, it's been a century since the war could be rephrased as, it's been 100 years since the war. Think about it, 100 years is a long time. Now, let's get some examples in sentences using these words. The Roman Empire lasted for several centuries. Or, the artist's work has been admired for over a century. You could say, it's been almost 100 years since women gained the right to vote in many countries, highlighting the passage of time. Let's think about what words have the opposite meaning to century. It's a bit tricky because century refers to a specific length of time. However, we can think about shorter periods. Decade, meaning a period of 10 years, is an antonym in the sense that it represents a significantly smaller time frame. Another antonym could be year, which is a single year, vastly different from 100. Let's put these antonyms in sentences to illustrate the contrast. The invention revolutionized the industry in just a decade, highlighting a quick transformation compared to the slower changes that might occur over a century. Or, the fashion trends change every year, unlike the more enduring styles that define a century. Another way to think about antonyms is to consider very short time periods. Moment or instant could be considered antonyms, as they are significantly shorter than a century. Now, let's look at how we use century in everyday life. You might hear someone say, that's a century-old tradition, meaning it's been around for 100 years. Or, we live in the 21st century, referring to the current time period. Common expressions using century include phrases like a century of progress or a century of change, highlighting the significant developments that have occurred over 100 years. You might also hear about mid-century modern, a style of design popular in the middle of the 20th century. Here are some more example sentences and phrases to solidify your understanding of century. The Eiffel Tower was built in the late 19th century. The company has been in business for over a century. Scientists are studying the effects of climate change over the next century. The book provides a fascinating glimpse into life in the 18th century. This discovery could change medicine for centuries to come. So, to recap, century is an A1 level noun that means a period of 100 years. We explored synonyms like 100 years and antonyms like decade and year. We also looked at how century is used in everyday language and common expressions. Remember, understanding words like century expands your ability to talk about time, history, and the world around you. Thank you for joining me on Hello Word today. I hope you found this episode helpful. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others discover Hello Word and learn English too. Don't forget to create your own sentence using the word century and share it as a comment below. I'd love to see what you come up with. Until next time, keep learning and keep exploring the amazing world of words.